Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions, to this holy circle of infinite light. Each day is more and more joyous, more and more a celebration of what's already here, just by this simple looking, this mind training that Jesus is giving us to go so quickly and to see that every thought, feeling, emotion can be burned out in the light that doesn't actually exist. It can be shown quickly to not exist. And for just taking us so gently through A Course in Miracles, looking at all those beliefs that seemed so real before, after praying so much for a simpler way. It's been here all along. I guess the mind is now really open to really listen to him. Like he said, it's not really necessary, but it seemed necessary. And I'm seeing that all the pain in the waking up is the denying that waking up is already here. Denying that we already are love's ever-presence. And that's the pain. That's like not being fully in. And I know Suzanne said that one time, like if you're not really fully in it, it's going to hurt. And it does, because that means we're investing in all the denials. We're investing in saying no to what's here already. The itch to say no to ourselves. And it seems so insane. Like the more we do this, it's like, what are we doing? But it's innocence. And Renee and I have been watching Chauncey Gardner, Being There, the movie. We're right in the middle of it. But it's just come in, this whole joy of cluelessness. Not knowing anything. And just completely letting go of the idea that I know anything that can be known. And how happy that is. And seeing that in the light of divine being, which we look every day, and start with that, the light. Start with the light within, that infinite simplicity. Infinite simplicity. Happy, peace, joy. And then it seems to be about a million different reasons. We were just talking about that, how when you distill it down to just what Jesus says, it's happiness, peace, joy. No. I don't want to be that. Anything but that. Now we can laugh at it, because before it was like, what you doing to me? Looking over at a brother, what you doing to me? It's all y'all's fault over there. And how we play in consciousness. I don't even know what's happening. Sometimes it's like, what's really happening? Love. Infinite happiness is playing the only tune. And he's just fine-tuning us so that the radio is on that one thing, divine light. That's it. No sideways. No, let me just check in and see how the devil's doing. I'm just kind of curious about the devil. I'm kind of curious about, and that trick we played on ourselves about suffering. Wanting to have the experience of suffering, go, no, I don't want that. And then you just drill it down, you watch it carefully with Jesus, and you say, holy smokes, Jesus, that's why it's so helpful just to ask him directly. Jesus, do I want that? Yep. And admitting it, and it's, okay, show me so quickly in the light. That's what we're talking about today, like pure burn. Boop, boop, boop. However the one is expressing, that's what's been coming up here. It's so easy, so easy. Oh, it's so easy. So, and really continuing to ask Jesus, like, okay, so is there a desire that it not be easy? I want to just check that one out. Is there a desire for awakening not to be easy? Oh, and just hear him say, nope, no longer a desire for it to be difficult. See, it's you are light. End of story. Like my niece, she saw once. What happens in the light? It melts trouble. She did doing that experiment with the pointing experiment, which points back to light from the headless way. All is forgiven. That's it. Okay, done with the course. She got the lesson and goes around talking about being the light. So, I'm going to make it so complicated. Oh, that was a symbol for me. That's hilarious. When I think back on that and think, it's like, you know, because Jesus pointed to those pointing experiments, and then, you know, I didn't get it. I don't get this. But it's so easy to see we're light. But that's just the play. We're defending ourselves against that big bad light. Oh gosh, we're funny. That big bad light. Let's see how big and bad that light is right now. Let's just check in. Infinite light of being. Let's see if that monster's coming. The big bad light. He's getting really playful now. Aw. Is the light doing anything? Does it say you're wrong, you're going to hell? Does the infinite light say you're going to hell? It's like, ask the light. Does the light know what hell is? My holy children, you're free. See that you're already free. And then you can notice when you're enslaving yourself to the alien thought system. Oh my gosh, I'm going to die. The light's going to get me. It's just good to look directly. Okay, there's a belief. The light's going to get me. So go ahead. You know, now we just start saying, okay, go ahead, vanquish. Let's see how that works. You know, because we don't, I love that. No bluffs. No self-imposed bluffs. Music. Da, 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 da.
It's like our light circle music.
What?
It's like our light circle music.
It is our light circle music. That guy comes by every time like a little clock, right about. We may find out what that truck is, but we're always in here, so we can't go see. Just happiness. Just happiness, resonance of beings. As just marinate. Love that, Muji. Bless you. As infinite being. And we're like watching the movie in a whole new way, as infinite being. Not what's observed, what's observing it. Quantum field. We're the quantum field. Not we, well, not a person, not a group of people. Light is quantum field. Identity is quantum field. You know, I just love that. You know, you hear in consciousness, okay, here's all the alternate realities. Let's explore alternate realities. If they're moving in the light of being, if something moves, is it real? See if the light says. Can't be real. Does it exist if it moves? Is it real? In the light of divine being. The only place to get the answers, the light of divine being. Does the light of being say, I don't know myself? Well, that's a good question. You know, this is helpful for discernment. Okay, let's see what the other famous things. I don't want to be here is the line. Who's saying that? In the light of divine being, does it say that? So that becomes the ultimate place for all answers, the only answers that matter. If there's going to be a question, which there are seemingly in time, because all other questions are questioning our identity. Desire is a question of identity. Let's just feel that in the divine lights. It's not just popping out of this mouth. Is desire a question of identity? Jesus is saying, if you didn't have them, you wouldn't be feeling you question your identity. So it's an investment, and the desires are the desire to question identity. Who am I? Now Jesus is saying, pay really close attention to the questions you're asking. That'll lead to who's asking it. Be like little children. I really want to know. Tell me the answer. Am I infinite light? And hear the answer. The light doesn't come back and say no. Usually the ego starts filling in. No, you can't be light. I don't want to be light. And if you really listen, I could hear it hating the light. I don't want anything but the light. I don't want my brother to be myself. Really, as we're kind of uncovering those desires. So, there's been a lot of talk, okay, we're going to go into darkness together. I guess it's okay. I would just say, see that we're the light, and that darkness, even darkness, arises in the light. So allowing the darkness to come into the light. So much lighter. Start with identity. Because we can, because we're the identity. Muji calls it your true position. Infinite light. You believe darkness exists. Is there any desire for experiencing darkness? Give it to me straight. Darkness is the play of consciousness believed. The desire for darkness. That something bad will happen if you look at the light. Yeah, Jesus provided this simple metaphor early on. You're only terrified when you're turned away from the light. So if terror is showing up, it's the signal that, not the signal that you're looking at the light. You're turned away from the light. The ego looks at the light and screams. So that's the signal. The signal of screaming, yelling, da, 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 is meaning we're trying to look at the light from the ego's perception. It's the function within consciousness. It's totally created to look toward the light and scream. I mean, that's the function. The function in consciousness is to look toward the light and scream, bloody murder, I'm dying, I'm going to be killed, the light's going to get me, blah, blah, blah. That's the whole scenario right there. Yet notice if we look as the light, is any of that real? The light know anything about, I'm going to die in the light? I'm going to be killed by the light? I'm going to be vanquished by the light. Looks at that. So it's really turning that signal of upset back on itself and go, oh, I'm looking at the light from the perspective of the false self. But as I turn it around and just look at what seems to be arising, because it's going to be terrifying. Its function is terror. The false self's whole function is terror looking at the light. I want to have it. It's literally saying, I want to have an experience of terror of looking at the light so I can deny that I am the light. So I'm going to play over here and I'm going to be in terror. And then I'm going to look at the light and I'm going to scream, oh my God, you're going to kill me. Yet, if we look as the light, turn it around, come all the way around and look as the light, as all that kerfuffling and the play in consciousness to pretend like the light doesn't exist over here and look at it from that perspective. Does it exist in the light? It's like light can't find it. And the experience here, it's all our experience if we look. So that's all that Jesus is doing. He's saying, quit looking around inside of here for peace. The kerfuffling and the terror because you're looking from the wrong perspective. Come around on my side of the table. Look at it directly to see it does not exist. In the light of being, when we look, we can see it doesn't exist. And just looking from this perspective, from the light, infinite light of being at all of this, it's like the witch from the Wizard of Oz where the water gets poured on her. I'm melting. But the one who's screaming is the one that's disappearing. Is the light screaming as the ego disappears? Light goes, that never existed anyway. It doesn't, you know, it just gets no involvement in all this kerfuffling here. Because to get involved, which would be to admit that it actually is real. And we see in the light, not real. So, kerfuffling. Consciousness kerfuffling itself. Okay, so we looked at this. It's so good. I'm looking to see, is there any more energy around this? We can look together. You believe that if you allow no change to enter your ego, that's like pushing it all back. Like, yeah. And you can see the insanity. Here's all this happening. And inside of it, that's where we're looking from, like this. I'm going to be safe in here. I'll find safety, you know, and all those kind of little things. Then we look as the light. Light's not looking for safety. Is the light looking for no change to enter it? The light sees it's not affected by change. Don't know anything about change. It's just the identification with this, moving around, and the sleight of hand inside of this little ball of nothings, as this, Jesus calls it, your fiefdom of nothingness. Come out and look with me at that. So let's see, is there any desire to experience to stop change? Any itch? I'm putting that on. And that's part of the illusion too, because the ego is change. It's an experience of change. But then it likes the changes that it likes. Certain changes it doesn't want to have happen. It wants the illusion that form can be controlled, when it's the very thing that creates this movement in form. So it's like, if I can just stop this from happening, it makes the changes, and then it goes, if I can just stop the changes, I'll be safe. Like we start to see, that is insane. That's in the land of the nut house. I can see I just took that for granted. But I don't think, I really appreciate Jesus kind of showing the underlying mechanism in here. That need to try to control change. Not, as you say, not have things be as they are. You believe that projecting the ego's thought system is valuable. So look and see if there's any value. You desire an experience of projecting the ego's thought system and feeling it's valuable. If there's any energy around that, I'm just look at it in the light as the light. Show me where that's happening. Is there any desire for that experience over the light? We're coming back around. We've looked at this one before too. It's helpful to just go deeper on it for me to see if there's any energy, any tightness when somebody speaks. The slightest twinge is denial of divinity. So you believe that what you do, what somebody else does or says has an effect on you. You desire an experience, to miscreate an experience that what you say or do or what someone else says or does can affect you. You like what you hear, you feel golden. You don't like what you hear, that pleasure pain thing. Jesus is reminding me right now how that's desire for perception, to place perception outside of ourselves and try to have the feeling we've lost control over perception. We've lost control, meaning that there's an object, we'll use some mighty companion that said something that seems to upset us. So we believe we've lost control over what that being over there is saying, and that, you know, the old adage, sticks and stones may break my bones. None of that's true either. But, you know, words can never hurt me, but, you know, there's still the sticks and stones part. But that words somehow have impact, that is so much part of the desired experience. That's why Jesus keeps pointing to me to look at it. The desired perception that words can do something. Okay, I'm putting that on. Put that on. If you like, okay. That any sound, that I've lost, that there's loss of control over perception. That's that loss of control over perception we talked about yesterday. Create perception and pretend and then pretend we don't know that we've created it. And then claim it's doing something to us. Perception, that something's doing something to create that perception when we made it. In the light of divine being, did we make perception? In the light of divine being, is there any desire not to recognize that we have made perception. To not admit that we made it and that we want the effects of it. Is there any desire to have an experience of the effects, seeming effects of perception? I want to see it. That'll clean a lot of closet space, that one. See, that slays the whole cow right there. The admission that perception is desired and miscreated. The beast. Chop the beast off at the knees. That's Jesus' laser gun right there. Where do you read about that in any spiritual teaching? You believe you do or say it. Perception. You believe perception has an effect on you, that you can see and it has an effect. We're going to do a whole perception thing. I really feel confident to look at that desire. You desire to see something and have an effect on you. Yeah. Is there a desire to see something and have an experience that it has an impact on us in the light of divine being? Like to pretend we have eyes that see. In the light of divine being, do the eyes see? Yeah, that wanting something we see to have an impact. I'm putting that completely over. That experience. You got all the cracking jaws. Okay. You start to see the jig is up. Okay, let's just look. Let's ask again. Is sensory, in the light of divine being that we are, sensory experience desired? Can we give over the desire for sensory experience to the light and see the truth? And hear the answer, oh yes. Okay. He's saying the desire to be impacted by it, to be impacted by sensory experience, by seeing, can be given over. Is the divine light impacted in any way by what the eyes seemingly see in the light of being? In our direct experience, are we impacted, infinite light impacted with what the eyes see? Okay. It just melts, and then it just can't stand that. Okay. Is there a desire for experience of touching something and being impacted by it? Oh, Jesus says yes. Okay. I give up that desire. I desire yes. The desire for experience of touching something and feeling that it has an impact. Let's put that in the light. In the light of divine being, does touching something impact the light whatsoever? Is that true? That anything that's felt impact the light? Oh, here's one he's bringing. Okay. No stone unturned. These lights. Okay, here's one. Is there a desire to experience that emotions have impact? Emotional states, emotions that arise. Oh, he's saying it's the desire for a feeling of loss of control. Okay, I'm willing to look at that directly in light. Or in the light of divine being, are emotions a desire to experience loss of control? Oh, powerlessness, he's saying. Is that a desire to experience powerlessness? The desire to experience powerlessness through emotional states. And the desire to have objective experience, the cause and effect, it's a cause and effect relationship. This can cause me to cry. This can cause me to laugh. Causality. Is there any desire to experience limitation through changing emotional states? I'm willing to put that over. Is there any desire to have an experience of losing control of the miscreation through hearing, through the sensory experience of hearing? In the light of divine being, does hearing come from the ears? Is hearing actually coming from the ear, or is that part of the illusion? This is such a great demonstration of how the ego, we Identity uses sensory experience to prove other. In the light of divine being, then what is heard by the ears prove other. Is there any longer a desire to hear things, to push away? To play the game of pull and push through hearing. I'm willing to see it. To reject myself through what I hear seems to be arising as sound. I'm so grateful for Jesus for this. To see where all the miscreations of sensory experience are. And how it's an interpretive function in consciousness. Never really thinking to look to see, is this all true? Sensory experience, is it even true at all? And can sensory, there's just an assumption, that's part of the structure, but I can see that sensory experience could prove separation, that it's an investment in proof that other exists, that the world exists. When no such proof actually can be found in the light of divine being, that such a thing exists. Is hearing a desired experience in the light of divine being? It's an idea, it's a concept. It's hearing a concept in the light of divine being. Can it be used by spirit to serve the whole? Jesus, I'm willing to have this hearing with purpose and service to the whole. And to see every sound as an expression in wholeness of myself. Love pouring out endlessly, seemingly to display in form. We see the display in fullness, in wholeness, the hologram in its fullness, in its full glory. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. Does what I see come from infinite mind? Yet without knowing anything about it. This is peace of mind, to see that sensory experience is a miscreation. To look as the light. Because then we can be no longer bound by it. And see it as the expression of God within us. This is the happy dream. To see the expression of God in all things. I thought the world would go away or blow up or something. Not necessarily, it's just, we just see it for what it is, an expression of divine being in the play of consciousness without it changing the unchanging. And the changing and the unchanging are the same, the manifest and the unmanifest, or the manifest and the unmanifest in our direct experience as divine beings the same. And the manifest prove that the manifest cannot prove the unmanifest. We're just here to see that the unmanifest is the light unmanifest in our direct experience. That all the power is in the abstract unmanifest is all the power in the abstract unmanifest light in our direct experience as divine beings. Jesus says, stay unmanifest, you'll be very happy there. Stay abstract. That's Chauncey, he's totally abstract. We respond, that seemingly it responds, some sound comes out of the unmanifest, all sound comes out of the unmanifest. Let's see, in the light of divine being, does all sound come out of the unmanifest? We didn't even have to know what unmanifest means, and that light still answers. So we don't have to spend any time in the logic, but let it sink in the as the abstract, and stay abstract. Stay as abstract. Natural state is abstract. Jesus talks about it too, today's lesson. Abstract. And anytime we feel ourselves congealing into an object, like I used to say that, no, Jesus, I knew it. I could see. I don't want to be the light. I want to congeal like Jello into an object, like a little lump of Jello with ideas and thoughts, and saying no to the light. Even we could see how ridiculous it is, that attraction to being a clump of Jello acted on by the world, but its attraction is now getting lost, the shiny penny of death in the denial of divinity. He's saying, stay abstract. So it's for me, I'll say it for everyone. Joy is abstraction. Peace is abstract. The abstract light. And that's what we enjoy together every time we come to celebrate abstract. We celebrate no time whatsoever. And see that abstract, if we move from this chair, is the light still here? We go to the bus station, is the light still at the bus station? Can we ever, in the light of divine being, be without the light in our direct experience? That's why Jesus is saying we have to take the but clause out of the contract with God. I'm the light. You know, it's true. We go, I'm the light, but, and the ego is all the exceptions of why the light's not here now. And see that the light doesn't know, just the infinite light of being, no ifs, ands, or buts. Can it be found anywhere in the light of infinite being? So anytime a but arises, an if then, a when, a tomorrow, does tomorrow exist in the light of infinite being? I think I'm gonna do something. Does that exist? Oh, it's all for me to see, isn't it? For all for us to see with Jesus. Yet he has that plan for each of us. It's just off the rails. We were talking about miracles today and sharing miracles, just going, oh my God. However that works, it's glorious. However that works, that Christ works with each of us individually in the Go for God plan. We are grateful. And we're grateful for our beautiful, mighty companion, Janet, and all the beings on YouTube who may watch this. We love you because we know you're us. We celebrate your divinity as the divinity. Free and open to everyone. Come on in. We love you. Bye, beloved. Big hugs.